welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love is Blind Season 2, Episode 1. Now, Chris, are we not the biggest pair of bellends in all of Bellendom? We say every time, right, it is last time we were running multiple seasons at the same time. Nearly killed us. We're definitely not doing that again, are we? And then it gets like a month or so out and it's like, oh, but these seasons are really good. Let's just watch the first one. And then we get like halfway through and we're like, fuck, we have to cover this one as well. But we're back in Love is Blind. It is my fault, I must say. But you put up zero resistance.
Well, okay, so to give you a little bit of credit, you're the voice of reason between the two of us, because as we always say, I would have hundreds of podcasts. I've been fucking podcasting every day, probably, if I could, even though when you physically can't because of life or whatever. And you will come on and go, someone's asked us to, and I'll say, someone's asked us to, on like the Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever. What do you think? And we'll go, I just can't do it. You know what? So I'll always say we can't do it until you say, we can do it. And then I'll go, let's do it. Because I'm like, I'll go, yeah, you're right, Dave. You're right. And then as soon as you say, I think we should do it, I'll go, yeah, I think we should as well, because I really want to do it.
There's like, in the cartoons when you get the little hole in the wall when like Coyote or Roadrunners run through the wall or something. There's you. As soon as I give the green light, you're like, yep, we're in. Let's go. I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Within 10 minutes of you saying we were doing this, I got off the phone and went, right, Dave, I've rearranged everything. I even rang Sam and said, we'll watch, because we usually watch this together. And she's like, well, I'll watch it when we go away, then I'll download it off Netflix. Because it only drops on the February the 11th, guys. So you haven't missed too much anyway. It's a week behind, but with it being streaming, it's not like they're releasing them like that. They're releasing them in stages, which they do with a lot of these Netflix reality shows. So we're not far behind anyway. But yeah, as soon as I had to ring Sam and go, look, I know you're really busy at work. And she was really busy, Dave. It was like a last day. And she's like, what's up? I went, it's really important. And as soon as I said that, she went, when you say that, you mean it's not important, do you? And I went, no. Can I watch Love is Blind without you? And she went, yeah, I'll watch it on my own. So she knew straight away it was something stupid I was ringing her for, Dave.
But I think it's fair to say we both enjoyed this season 1, didn't we? And we've held off a little bit. And we're not quite sure yet. Are we going to do this episode by episode or group sum up? I do enjoy the kind of the episode by episode stuff, I have to say. We sort of, pick on a few things. We seem to ride the roller coaster a bit more than, if we're summarizing 4 or 5 episodes, you kind of, the stuff that happened in the first of those episodes is usually, outdated information by the time you get further down the tracks, isn't it? So the fact that it has come out a little bit, we're not going to be covering this in real time, whatever format we do. And so I'm tempted to say, we could go episode by episode with this one, but we're not beholden to a strict timeline like we normally try to be.
No, you're right. And I'm just having a quick look on Netflix as we're talking. And there is 9 episodes available. And the 10th episode becomes available on the 25th, which is next Friday. So there's obviously something there. So you're not going to... Guys, whatever way you want to watch it, whichever way we cover it, you're not going to be behind. It's pretty easy. There's a great thing about the Netflix stuff like that. They just pretty much drop it all. I mean, I know we haven't covered the last season of The Circle, have we, the US one, but we just not had time. So this is more our wheelhouse, I think. The Circle's a great social experiment, and you got proper into it, didn't you? Even so much so that I actually applied to go on the UK one. Then they went, I'm sorry, we're cancelling it. So...
Yeah,
probably because I'd applied. But there you go.
You can go on Naked Attraction if you like.
Yeah, fuck that, Dave. Dominica was saying about getting a root off someone. Fuck me, man. It's like a fucking little twig. So let's not fucking do that, Dave.
It's just such a bad thing. I still have no idea how to get people to go onto that. It's like raising the little fucking thing, the little bloody bar, and it's like you got fucking girls staring at your junk commenting on it.
You've got to be really secure. You've got to be really secure in yourself, or you've got to have a fucking King Dong on you if you're going to do something.
You've got to be Dirk Diggler, basically.
Yeah, big time.
So, Chris, we're back. It's a familiar format for this season, isn't it? So we've got Vanessa and Nick Lachey there. And I have to say, Chris, of all of the hosts that we've seen across all of these different reality dating shows, this has to be the best gig, doesn't it? Because they literally turn up for a bit of the first episode. And then in season 1, I don't remember seeing them again. And for this episode 1 in the second season, they literally showed up at the start and then they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's funny because Nick Lachey, I think I said this when we did the first Love is Blind. Nick Lachey, I remember from a reality show. We used to go out with Jessica Simpson. And Jessica Simpson was a massive actress, singer. I know she's in the Dukes of Hazzard.
I remember her well.
Yeah, very, very stunning girl. But they had their own show, Nick and Jessica, Newlyweds. So me and Sam watched it all the time. And obviously they split up, they're not together. Obviously it's his wife presenting the show. So, but I always find him quite wooden as well, Dave. It's just like, he's sort of like TV, not royalty, but he's a well-known face in America. But for me, he doesn't do anything. I don't think either of them do. But you're right. It's pretty much, come on, this is everyone. We'll see you again at the end. Give me my $100,000 or whatever he's getting for presenting it. But you've got to fucking give him credit because it's an absolute blag of a job. But he's the face of Love is Blind. Love is Blind is a massive franchise now for Netflix, Dave. It's really clever how they picked it up.
Mm. Yeah, it's smart, isn't it? But, I mean, there's no real changes in format. When we see some of these other seasons, they'll tweak some things, tweak a bit of the rules, here and there, depending on the feedback they've had from the first season. But this was very much the same, wasn't it? It was trying to take out of the equation the whole looks, they talk about being superficial or the world being superficial, and they just want to get to know the person, connect on a deeper level through these pods and what have you. So I didn't spot any actual changes with this.
No, and you know what? I didn't realise, again, I'd only read this before we started recording, was it's all based in Chicago. All the couples are from Chicago. So you haven't got that Love Island thing or the Bachelor thing where they live, other sides of America. I know in America, they're very, very good at people will just re-site, won't they, and just move. In the UK, it's very different. I know obviously you live away from your family, but you moved with your own family, didn't you? Down to Bedford. But it's unheard of for a lot of family members to just up sticks and move to another part of the country. There has to be a reason, but in America, they're very liberal like that, which I do like. People will just go and do it. But the fact that they're in Chicago, it sort of gives the couples more of a chance of actually staying together. Because I didn't realise the first one, they were all in the same sort of city, which I'd never realised. But if it being Chicago, it's good that because, it might not be because they can't get away from each other. But in the same respect, there is that geographical issue that usually happens on these dating shows isn't a problem because there's no long distance relationships, really.
Was it too hard to handle the first season where, someone was in New York and someone else was in LA and they seemed really sweet together when they were basically on holiday together? But, it is hard to make that work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I remember the couple who won Love Island in Las Vegas when they did it there, the second series, and they were on East West Coast and they split up pretty much straight away, really. But they looked so tight on each other. Well, within a couple of months, they were so tight on each other. But they just said the long distance thing just doesn't work. You can't live 3,000 or 4,000 miles away from each other and expect to hold that relationship down. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. No, Chris, when this kicks off, this episode 1, I must admit, I'm thinking, this feels familiar. We get the whole setup, I guess. It's like the old Stan Lee thing, isn't it? Anyone who picks up an issue of a comic, it could be their first comic, and I guess they've got to restate all the rules and everything. So I felt like there was quite a bit of time on the setup, just explaining the rules of and the premise of the show and giving people's backgrounds and why they think this is a good idea for them. But I'm not massively into it at that point. But then there was just a few gems in this, and I feel like the first one was Jarrett. So, and the thing is, it was like he's talking to one of the girls, and honestly, it's going to get into the episodes before I start writing people's names down again, because we realise there's so many people who drop out at this stage. So, but Jarrett speaking to a girl, and he says, "Yeah, Jarrett, not like the Subway guy," and I'm like, "Oh, like, do you really have to drop that in?" It's like, Chris, if you were named James, would you go like, "Yeah, I'm Jimmy," not like Jimmy Savile though? It's like, fucking hell. So I don't know about you, but that just caught me off guard. I was like, dude, you're supposed to be putting your best foot forward here. You don't need to be talking about fucking Jarrett from Subway.
No, and I'll tell you what got me, and you're right, the first 15 minutes, you sort of like, oh, we're here again. It was a great series, the first one. It really was. There was some cracking, cringeworthy moments, as well as the drama and everything. But I must admit, I was thinking, and it runs for an hour, each episode, and I'm thinking, oh, no, here we go. What? Is this going to be as good as the first series? And then you messaged me and said, you've got to see this guy, the David Brent vet. Abhishek, is it his name? Abhishek.
Abhishek, yeah.
What a fucking Dave! I'll let you phrase this. It was brilliant when you messaged me. I was fucking crying when I watched it.
This genuinely had me crying, and like you say, I was watching it a little bit ahead of you, and I just couldn't help it. I was like, "Are you free? Are you free?" I need to speak to you. I'm going to spoil it. Well, I need to speak to you right now. The thing is, Abhishek, you saw he's a bit clumsy and a bit shit with most people, isn't he? He said a few different things to a few different girls, but he ends up and he's speaking to Chastity, and they're both Indian, and they both apparently like dating blondes, and so I thought, well, okay. And this was the first time we saw Abhishek actually have a bit of chemistry with someone. So even though, their dating history, they've spelled out that it's both blonde, I'm like, not sure you're getting the premise of this show. you're supposed to like be taking looks out of the equation, but okay. But they genuinely seem to be getting on, and he mentions that he's a part-time DJ as well as a vet. I didn't think vets had that much free time, but again, I'm thinking this could go on well. And then she says something about picking her up. And he looks down at his notes and he's like, "And could I pick you up?" Just look, it was the most David Brent from The Office thing I think I've seen on any of these shows. And we've seen a lot of David Brentisms, haven't we? Oh, and it was just like, I know that I can't ask if you're a bit heavy, right? If you've got a few extra pounds. I know I can't ask that. So I'm going to be cunning as a fox who studied at Oxford University and is a professor of cunning. I am going to ask if I could actually lift her up at a festival.
Nice.
And Chris, it was at that moment I was just like, all right, Love is Blind. I'm in.
Yeah. And when he says it, he might as well have said to her, pick a number between 1 and 200 and tell me what's the closest to your weight, or what weight are you? What size dress are you? And the thing is, Dave, he's not a fucking oil painting. He's like, who the fuck are you? He's a vet. He's a clever guy. He's like, who the fuck are you to decide? Like, what? Honestly, I was with you when you alluded to it, and I thought, I've got to fucking put this. As soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit, why have you just asked that girl that? That is terrible. Fuck it. Oh, the dialogue, Dave. I was cringing, but I was also like, oh, this is brilliant. This is fucking brilliant.
Well, he'd already asked the other girl, hadn't he, about going to the gym. And, she said, oh, yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. He's like, I prefer to get on with people who go more to the gym. Again, I do think he's got a real thing about weight. And again, you've got your own types, haven't you? But I just love the way he was kind of clumsy. Now, my only fear, Chris, is this guy doesn't couple up with anyone, because I think this fella will be gold if he does actually pair up with someone.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you what was the moment of this episode, Dave, and I'm with you, right, was the love triangle between Shane, Natalie, and Shayna. And it was Shane come across quite, at the start, quite a good guy. It's a bit chatty, very confident, talking about very sexual, and he was talking to Shane, and they got really flirty about he just wants sex all the time. She's like, I want 5 times a week, and he's like, well, that'd be me. I'd throw you in the toilets and we'd have a quickie and all this. And I'm like, well, this is taking a real fucking turn.
He went back and had a wank after that, didn't he?
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, of course he did. She started writing that one.
He was like biting on the book and everything.
Yeah, he literally, I think he had to have
a scratching post.
He needed the cushion on his fucking lap, I think, Dave, at that point. But then Natalie, he'd given all his dialogue to. They'd had a real conversation. And you said this to me when we were talking before the podcast was. She was the one. She'd made her mind up that Shane was the one. Now, Dave, we hear about this thing all the time. Everyone has a slip of the tongue and that. But what you don't do is call the girl that you're trying to get into someone else. Because he went, are you all right, Shane? And she went, dead quiet, went, I'm Natalie. And I was fucking crying. I was crying. But the girl went, she just fucking nosedived, didn't she? Because she was like, and she wouldn't speak, and he's going, hello, are you there? He was like an old person who gets a fucking, he's like hearing there, he
like
picks the phone up. Yeah, go, hello, are you there? It's fucking brilliant. But she was a wreck. And what I found weird is when they come out of the pods, they go back into this kitchen area, don't they? Like this dining area. So obviously Shayna's there as well. So she knows something's going on, that when Natalie's saying that this is the guy and all that, she sat there going, oh, fucking hell, it's definitely not. And honestly, that was brilliant. But he come across Shane as, after that, he was so aggressive towards her and horrible. I was like, you've dodged a bullet there. And Shane is in for a lot of problems if they get together, because he was horrible to her, Dave. He literally just started throwing insults at her, abuse, just basically trying to deflect what he'd just done. It was really, really not good at all.
Yeah. Again, also demonstrating David Brent behaviour.
Yeah.
Remember when he's talking to that girl whose birthday it is, and then she's like, well, you're a bit old, aren't you? He's like, I'm a bit old. Look at you. You've let yourself go, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're a disgrace, love. He turned into that, didn't he? Because he was like, well, surely you're speaking to other people. And, if this is, how it's going to be, I don't think there's anything here. And yeah, he did get really aggressive towards her. And I thought it was bang out of order, to be honest. And yeah, I after that little interaction, I did think he's dodged a bullet there. But, she's dodged a bullet there. And, he's a bit of a fake nice guy. So he comes across, he's all nice and everything, but then, snaps very, very quickly. So no, again, I think him and Shayna will end up together, won't they? But he's got a bit of a temper on him.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'd gone off him a little bit, but when he did that, I was like, oh dear, you are a fucking bellend, mate. It's going to be great TV.
Yeah.
But I dread to think what's coming, Dave, because I don't like his tone already. Very strange lad. And I think out of the other guys, like, there was Kyle, the construction worker. He was saying, like, his dad was a construction worker. He was talking it was Shane who was talking to. They had a good connection because her dad was a construction worker. Her brothers were into that. She had total respect. Very unusual looking lad as well. Good looking lad, but, very defining features. And they were chatting away. And I thought, oh, there's a chance here. But she kept going back to Shane. And I'm like, oh, no. Already I was like, no. Shane, he's not the fucking guy for you at all. I've got to say, though, Dave, Shayna and there's one of the other girls, did look a bit like Sinead off Bachelor. I was like, oh no, she switched fucking codes here.
I think the other one, yeah, our favourite, Shanae. And if she's in Bachelor in Paradise, we're fucking watching that. We might not cover it, but we have to be. I think you're talking about Trisha.
That's it.
Whose name I did write down. The real estate agent, which, to be honest, Chris, how many of these shows in the US have we watched? And it's like, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. How many fucking real estate agents come onto these shows? It does seem to be, a lot compared to any other occupation. But by God, she's got an ego. And she keeps telling everyone about what this big Instagram following that she's got. And I'm like, all right, I see what's going on here. No one's that blatant about it usually, but we always say, don't we, with Bachelor, with Love Island, with all of them, it's all about chasing Instagram followers so you can become that social media influencer. And, she had the fucking biggest ego about it. And she's like, saying to the girls back in the kitchen, about all the guys are going for me kind of thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, you are the Jessica of this season.
Yeah. Oh, Jessica. What a character, Dave, she was.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. When she said it, I was like, and she was chatting away to one of the guys, and he was like, is it Neil? I think it was that, the one who ends up saying he loves you to the other girl. It might have been him, but one of them is like, I'm not here. Is it Nick?
Nick and Danielle are the ones who got had together. The proposal at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know whether it was one of the other lads, but he was really like, I'm not. And as soon as she started saying shit like that, it started off well. Then she's like, yeah, I've got Instagram following. And he's like, oh, wow. It's like, oh dear, what the fuck is this? I'm not here for this. She come across really bad, and she's like, I just want, a hookup. I wanted this, I want that, and I'm like, oh my God, you literally, I'm an Instagram fucking influencer, and the fame's obviously gone to her head, like completely. Whoever, I've never even heard of her, so I don't know who she is.
Well, fucking hell, Chris, the amount of Instagram followers that are out there, Instagram followers, like influencers, is fucking hundreds of thousands of them. You're not going to hear of any of them, are you? I think, and how do I say this, Chris? I think bluntly and brutally, probably, she ain't fucking 20, is she? What I mean? She's got all of the fucking decoration and everything, but I don't know. It's like I tend to think of the influencers being a little bit on the younger side. Write your hate mail to Chris Phelps at cdcast@gmail.com. No, I realise it's not that kind of thing to say, but come on. She's got to be. Oh, you know what? Let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's say just for clarification, that was Dave, not Chris. No, but I just think her behaviour was very bizarre. She looked like she was mid-30s, and you can be an influencer at any age. Obviously, there's a massive career there, but I don't know how she expected, by coming in and boasting about something like that, she expected anybody to go, oh, well, I'll tell you what then, right, I want to marry you right now because you are a hell of a cat. As soon as she started saying that, I was like, that is just going to switch every guy off, unless someone is as superficial as her. And Shane might have been the one, I think, because he looked really like he was just chasing something, like he was chasing the fame or whatever. So maybe he's the one, but I didn't get it.
No, I agree with you. The way she said it is almost like she uses it as a line. When she's out and about, she's like, oh, I've got a really big Instagram following. If someone said that to you or I, you'd be like, right, nice speaking to you. Walk off. But the people go like, oh, wow, how many followers do you have? And then she's like, oh, I've got 50,000 followers. Wow, you must be the shit. It's like I just can't comprehend how that is like a thing that is a positive thing to say, to drop in a conversation. So yeah, even genuine social media influencers that we see on these shows, Chris, who do say that that's what their job is. I've not heard the words, I've got a really big Instagram following.
Yeah,
it just there's something off about it, isn't there?
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? It's funny because like you're thinking about this. So I've got 357 subscribers on YouTube to my channel. It's very small.
Wow.
Exactly. Imagine
awesome.
me. Imagine
you
me.
must be the shit.
Imagine me, right? Imagine I'm a single and I'm there on a date with some girl and I'm going, and she's like, "Oh, what you do?" Go, you do know I've got 357 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And she'd be like, "Oh, poor you. Is that it?" You know, it's like, why would you bring that up? I remember, and the thing is with followers, Dave, you can buy them. So there was a big cult about 3 or 4 years ago where like Kim Kardashian had like, she's got millions of followers, but something like 7 or 8 million followers got wiped off all of a sudden because her company had paid for followers, you know what I mean? Like paid. We get them, don't we? We get emails off people saying, "Look, and you can do it. Go on Fiverr," and it's like, "Well, we'll boost your followers," and you get, you know, we've never done it, but you there's no reward to it at all. And I remember a mate of mine, like a big gaming, because you know me, I love my gaming. So I dabbled in like podcasts and websites and gaming and all that stuff a long time ago. And this lad I knew, all his followers, he's like, "Yeah, I've sold this website, I've done this, I've done that, blah, blah, blah." And he had like 50,000 followers on Twitter. And I was like, fucking hell, but his engagement was shit. So he'd do like a tweet and he might get 15 replies. And I used to think, that is just bizarre. And then when I got to know him, he's like, yeah, I've paid for followers. And he probably had organically about 10,000 followers, which is still amazing. But he'd paid for like nearly 40,000 followers, which were just bots. But when someone's looking at giving you free stuff, and that's all he lived off, he used to just get free stuff all the time to review in the gaming world. It works because that's what they do. They look at. So I'm questioning, like, she's probably got, this is my opinion, she's probably paid for loads of followers. And it does create, it creates like a persona, doesn't it? You know, that confidence thing, fake it till you make it. She's got it. People might send her stuff, but what a bizarre, it's brilliant, because it's just car crash TV. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work for you.
The thing is, Chris, most fucking social media, well, I don't know if all of the social media influencers are like this, or it's just the ones that we see on these shows. You know, so I've not got a big picture view. It's just all the ones that we see. They're just fucking prancing around in a bikini or something. So they're getting loads of followers from blokes who probably DM them dick pics. Like, it still boggles my mind, quite honestly, that this is a thing. I get that it's a thing, but I'm not going to go to her Instagram page, to be honest, but I can guarantee you it will have some of that on.
100%, Dave, 100%. But as we go into episode 2, I am all up for this, Dave. I've downloaded the episodes. I'm ready to go. I want drama. I want some proper shit going down, and I think it's going to deliver. And I think once they get married and they have to start living with each other, which we usually get at about episode 5 or 6, that's when the real people come in, don't they? I love it because they have to stay at one of the person's. One of the couple has an apartment or a house. They have to stay with them, don't they? So that's going to be really, really interesting how that plays out. Yeah,
definitely. So, I mean, are we going to go episode by episode? Because I think if we try it like that, and then if people do listen and they've watched the whole season, then they can just laugh at our shitty predictions.
Yes.
Which is normally how it goes. So yeah, let's go along for the full roller coaster, and we'll do episode by episode. So, like you say, you're away this week. We've got 2 other fucking shows to cover. So who knows when episode 2 will be? But it has been great, you know, and we're back to our old school format. Just a quick in and out, Chris. You know, just quick episode, calling out the key points there.
The child in me.
The milk tray, man.
The child in me, quick in and out, yeah. But anyway.
Job done, bada bing.
Well, I enjoyed myself, but there you go, right? Anyway. No, you're right, Dave. It's been good. It's good fun, and we'll rock it when I come back. But no, really, really great stuff, guys. And thank you for suggesting it, because there's plenty of buzz on Facebook and on social media. And I know you'd had a few DMs saying you're going to cover it, and we'd had some emails. So thank you, guys. It's really, really good stuff, and I'm so pleased that we're doing it, because it's amazing. But if you do want to email us about anything that you agree or disagree on Love is Blind, if you're catching up, or any of our other shows, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, cdrealitycast. And as always, patreon.com/cdrealitycast if you want to get over there and support us a little bit more. So, Dave, today's roll call of honour is Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Noreen, Amy, Zoe, Joanna, Helen, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Ken Gustafson. So thank you, guys, as always. Really, really good stuff. And I hope you're enjoying these new shows that we're covering. So brilliant stuff, mate.
Brilliant, Chris. Thank you very much, sir. And thanks to everyone out there who supports us, listens to us, comes along for the ride with us, and has listened along today. So, guys, we'll speak to you next time.
Take care. Bye.